Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with a smack habit. Bye, bye. This is a good one. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. That's right. And I highly appreciate the support. Man, I'm very humbled by it. So now, yesterday I made a video, and the video ruffled some feathers. I figured it would, man. I figured the video that I made, the context of the content was a little too much for some and just enough for others, right? Or maybe not even enough. So I'll elaborate later on. But at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, it did ruffle some feathers and it did gain the attention that I pretty much wanted it to gain. You know, I spit a lot of facts, a lot of realisms. And the fact remains that that guy Norbies over there, I don't know where the fuck he's from or what the fuck he's doing. And I don't even know if he's still bleeding out of every orifice on his body from one punch, right? But what I do know for sure is he's one of these. Consistently and constantly running his mouth on everybody and anything that he could say to get a little bit of clout, to get a little bit of, he wants noticeability. He wants to be noticed, right? So I put that out there. But in the midst of doing that, I addressed Marvelous Minds, Marvelous Inc., Marv, right? Who I once did an interview with about 2 years ago. We sat down. He showed me respect. I showed him respect. I appreciated the fact that he pulled up, you know, and even gave me his time. Because getting an interview with the person, man, is not very easy. A lot of people don't want to do it. You know, and Marvelous knew that sitting down with me, there could be repercussions. He knew that people were going to start whispering in his ear and saying things because of my status, not being an active gang member, man, and him still being in good standings at that time as a gang member. You know, people were going to have a lot to say. But he's the type of individual that I knew and know didn't give a fuck what other people said. He's going to do him, do his program, and all he's worried about, I'm sure, are his homies from his neighborhood, and that's about that. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Those who you fuck with, hey, their opinion counts. Everyone else's opinion is just whispers in the wind. So anyways, I did my video yesterday. And I expected it. I was like, you know what? Someone's going to reach out to me and try to put me in contact with Marvelous. Now, I've had the same number for years. Marvelous has had that number ever since, you know, we sat down and did the interview. So was I expecting him to reach out directly? No, I figured someone else would contact me and be like, hey, Marvelous seen the video. He's going to want to talk to you, or he wants you to contact him, or whatever the case may be, right? But I got a text message. These are all facts and truth, right? I got a text message and it was from Marvelous. And he said, hey, this is Marvelous. Hit me up if you want, right? Basically, that was asking me to call him. So I did in a direct fashion. In menudo style, direct fashion, I called him immediately back. And I already knew, man, he was feeling some type of way because of the content that I put out. But hey, man, hey, everyone, I'm a counterpuncher. I got to defend myself. Now, this video was brought to my attention by a homeboy and a homegirl. My homegirl reached out to the homie and was like, hey, these guys are over here. This guy, Norbies, is over here on Marvelous's platform talking shit about you, talking shit about other guys, this, and that, right? And so it was brought to my attention. So I watched snippets of the video, not the whole live, but enough to, you know, make my content. Now, I missed a certain part of it. And I failed to watch the whole thing, you know, because I got hot. I was like, man, who the fuck is this fat fucker talking shit about me after I've defended him so many different times, you know? And I don't know this guy over a can of fucking lumpy ass chitorranas looking chili beans. But what I do know about him is he had the balls to at least pull up and address his situation with American Cholo, even though it didn't work out for him. And like I said, he got fucking thumped. And next thing you know, his asshole was bleeding. At the same time, he still pulled up, and you got to respect the man that will go solo and ain't no sucker, right? I respect that about him. You know, The big old mouth, I can't. Especially when he's disrespecting people who have never once said anything bad about him in the first place. Now, there's clowning, there's having fun, there's capping, there's, doing them types of things. I could deal with that. I could respect that. Go ahead, get your motherfucking money. But when it comes to trying to hurt someone's financial situation, or trying to hurt someone's channel, and trying to lie and put things in their mouth that they never said, well, that's a whole different story, bro. That's a whole different ball game, right? Especially when you're doing it with a brown person, because from one brown person to another, well, that ain't right? That ain't cool. But it just is the way it is. So much hatred from within, so much hatred amongst our people. You'll have in the same breath a dude saying, hey, all I care about is the raza and these deportations and this and that. But in that same breath, he'll be disrespecting other raza because in his heart, he feels they're not doing enough. You can't dictate no one's program, especially you when you're bleeding out of every fucking orifice in your face. You can't dictate no one's program, what they're going to do, what they're going to say, or what they're not going to say. But you also cannot lie and put words in their mouth and misdirect people, make people think that they feel some type of way when they don't. That's my issue with that fat fucker Norbies, right? We can make it personal. We can go any route you want to go, man. But that's just that. You don't pump fear to no one. So anyways, I get the text from Marvelous yesterday. And I told him I was going to make this video. I told him I was going to tell you guys exactly how that conversation went down. He was cool with it, right? Now, Marvelous is very controversial. Let's not get it twisted. There's going to be a lot of people, damn, Gun, why are you even talking to that guy? Well, hold up, man. I'm going to talk to whoever the fuck I want. I'm not hanging out with individuals. We're not going out committing crimes together. We're not chilling. We'll probably never even run into each other. None of that. But if a man wants to call my phone on some righteous shit and talk to me, I'll pick it up. Now, regardless of what people want to say about Marvelous and the controversial shit that he is accused of, the key word is accused, right? This guy, and I'm not defending him at all, right? But I'm just defending my actions of yesterday and explaining why. Yesterday, when I made that video, I did take a few shots at Marvelous. Absolutely, because I was upset that he allowed that fat fucker to go on his platform, which that fool's a staple of the platform anyways, but that he allowed that dude to start talking shit and lying and misdirecting people as much as he did before eventually, which I didn't see until I know now because Marvelous told me and others told me, that Marvelous did shut it down. He did say, calm down, bro, your high blood pressure, you're going to fuck around and have a heart attack, because that fool was fucking foaming at the mouth going crazy. A hero all of a sudden. From a zero to a hero. All of a sudden, he's the champion of the raza. All of a sudden, he cares. All of a sudden, he's a real one, and he cares. He's ready to go throw rocks, right? Nah, that's furthest from the truth. He's utilizing the raza like several others are. Watch my second piece of content that I'm going to put out today, Rat, because it's going to fucking expand upon this, right? But it's something different. A whole different individual doing the same thing. These guys are utilizing what's going on with this immigration and all this to clout chase. They're utilizing the raza off the raza's back, the people who are really going through the shit. The guys who are really out there on the front lines, the guys who are really getting deported and their families separated and all that, they're utilizing them to all of a sudden be a champion and a hero. And, oh, man, we need to use our platforms to help. Yeah, where was all that helping when you're out there committing crime? Where's all that helping when you're out there gangbanging? Where's all that helping when you're tearing the raza apart? And it's the reason why they get the bad name that they get. We as brown people, man, are looked at by law enforcement differently because myself, I'm not a hypocrite, and a lot of others, man, instead of using the opportunities that we had in this country, we threw it all away to go out there and commit crime and gangbang and tear our communities down. So now all of a sudden, right, these fucking heroes are going to come out of the shadows, tattoos all over them and fucking pendejos talking about, oh, we need to fight for our people. You don't need to fight for your people, bro. You've been fighting your people. You need to stop fighting your people first before you can fight for your people. That's a fact, right? So anyways, with Norbies, man, there's a whole lot of just justification for this, justification for that. Now, he's not a gang member. He's not none of that. But if you frequent gang members, if you hang around, it's called guilt by association. You know, you could sit here and talk all that good shit, but you're going to sit there and talk shit about Haters World. You're going to sit there and talk shit about Gil from American Cholo. You're going to sit there and talk about all these guys. And then all of a sudden you're going to be a champion and a hero for the raza. Shut up. That ain't the way it works, bro. You can't pick and choose and pick. It's brown, period, or it's not brown at all. That's it. It took me the hard way to figure that out and find that out. Yes, I got love for the raza. Yes, I love my gente and I love my history and where I come from and the culture, a beautiful culture. But I'm of the understanding that we are our product of our own demise. It's brown people that kill other brown people and hurt brown people's fucking nature. We'll just say that. Anyways, so I called Marvelous yesterday. Called him back, right? It's cracking. He's like, "What's up, Gun?" Very respectful. And I know a lot of people are going to jump. Why are you talking to him, man? Fuck you. Okay? How about that? Listen to the story. So, very respectful. Any interaction, there hasn't been very many of them, but any interaction I've ever had with Marvelous, he's been very respectful. He doesn't strike me as a predator or a chomo or a weirdo or people that I've seen on prison yards that are sitting down in the middle of the fucking yard playing a guitar in Dungeons and Dragons. He doesn't strike me as those. Now, anyone is capable of anything, but in his case, he doesn't. I don't get that fucking feeling, right? No defending, just for reals. I'm telling you how I feel. So he gets on the phone, "What's up?" And immediately he lets me talk first. I recognize that, right? He goes, "Go ahead, I'll let you say what you got to say," right? And I told him, "Hey, you seen the video?" He said, "Yeah, a gang of people are blowing his phone up," telling him not. It's crazy because there's a lot of people that care. They'll get at you when someone makes a video about you and they'll tell you, "Hey, homie, fucking, did you see this?" Then there's a lot of people that just like the cheese man, like stirring the pot. They're hoping that if they're the first ones to tell you, I don't know if they get a brownie point, a participation prize, some flowers. I don't know what the fuck they get, but they feel like they get the satisfaction of letting you know another man talked about you. So go ahead, homie. Get on them, right? They love the novela. They love the chisme. Facts, right? So anyways, I'm not saying that the individuals that tapped into him were doing that, but come on now, man. I'm not a stupid motherfucker. So anyways, they get at him. He's like, a gang of people were blowing me up, telling me about it. I said, "Look, this is the direction I'm taking." I said, the call out was, I initiated the call out for you or Fat Boy over there because I'm doubling down on Norbies, man. He gets no love, and I thought he knew it. Fool, you know how we do it, right? So I'm like, "Hey, you allow that dude to go on your platform, bro. That's the only situation I have with you. All that other shit and that other noise, the allegations, the baby mamas, the this, and that, that's really none of my business." And I think I expressed that yesterday on the video, when the shit went down with Marvelous, okay, when everybody was going at him and he was being called all kinds of different names and being compared to SPM and all this weird shit, right? I wasn't down with that. I wasn't down with putting another man in danger. I was flabbergasted because I never thought that someone as respectful as him and someone that treats people, with a whole lot of respect, those that he fucking does respect, would ever be accused of something like that. But I seen the whole get down. I seen the way that people were, using that as an opportunity, any opportunity to jump on this man. And I knew it was serious in nature, meaning it could get very serious on the streets when you're an active gang member or you're living that life. So myself and the homie Dubs, we had a conversation and we chose, hey, you know what? Instead of being part of the problem, we're not even going to be a part of the solution. We're just going to stay away from that. And man, it turned from a Marvelous show to a Gunner and Dub show. We were getting all kinds of hate. There was all these active so-called fucking podcasters going at us, talking about, "Oh, you guys don't want to talk about it. You guys kick it with this guy. You guys support this guy." We turned into all kinds of different things. We just took it. Just take it, homie. Tell him, just take it. He said, "Yep." I said, "Ain't no big deal. This shit's going to blow over," because at the end of the day, we know where we stand. And where we stand is not getting indicted with the rest of these fucking idiots for trying to apply pressure and get a motherfucker whacked and hit out there for something they weren't even really privy to. That man went on his podcast. He explained the situation, whether you believe it or not. That's up for interpretation. That's up for you and what you believe. I'm not a dumb man. I wasn't born yesterday, man. I understand about damage control. I understand about all these different things. I'm not saying that's what he did, but a lot of people were trying to allude to that. Every man is different. Every man is not built for tough. Every man sometimes believes everything they hear or everything they see. I'm not one of them men. I'm the type of man that's like, okay, I see you, bro. Guess what I'm gonna do? I don't know one way or the other. You've always treated me with respect. You've always treated me cool. So as a courtesy for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna back up like a crawdad. I'm not gonna fucking talk bad one way or the other. I was asked a gang of times on all the lines, what do you think about Mark? What do you think? All these guys, they just fucking their pussies are all wet. They just the females coming out in them. What do you think? What do you think? What fucking doesn't matter what I think? That man has to go through his trials and tribulations on his own, and he seems to have come out of it. He's done it. Now there's a gang of people that still feel some type of way. He's a grown man. He's still in his hood. He can deal with that, right? So, anyways, when he calls me yesterday, I immediately start telling him about how I felt about Norbies and how I was disappointed in the fact that he allowed. First of all, I was disappointed in Norbies. I told him because how many times did we back him with the whole American Cholo thing, getting beat up from the feet up, right? And how many times did we, back him up with the whole Tony A situation when he got fired, you know what I'm saying, for allegedly disrespecting the blacks, which of course, the Vato haters was the one who put it all on blast and set it up from the get-go, right? So all these things I felt were bad shenanigans, left a bad taste in people's mouths, not in my mouth because I don't put shit in my mouth, right? But in other people's mouths, and I just reacted to that. So I felt a little played, a little bit disrespected that all of a sudden Norbies would allow himself to fucking guys that actually fucking supported him and showed him, respect. All of a sudden he would double back and be a fucking coward and just talk shit about them and try to smut them up and lie. That's what got me the most was the lies. If it was facts and truth, do your thing. But when you're lying, it's like, come on, bro. You can't create good content with realism. You have to fucking create content with fucking lie. That's a blatant lie. Anyways, I expressed that to him. He heard it. He said, I feel you. I understand. Again, he can't speak for another man, and I didn't expect him to only speak for himself. And I was speaking for myself. And I told him, so as far as fucking Norbies goes, fuck him and the horse that he fucking weighed down when he came in on, right? And I said, now, as far as, and then he goes, bro, I just want to know why you talked about the whole my baby mama thing and that whole thing, right? Because at the end of the day, and I didn't even realize it, that is still, regardless of her age at the time of conception, she still is Marvelous's baby mama, right? So I gotta respect that because you can't compile and make shit worse. Regardless of when she had the baby, what age she was, and all that, that is their fucking business. Like I said, I'm not gonna go out there and kick it with Marvelous. I'm not gonna, because I understand that mistakes were made. It was a fucking mistake, and that's what I'm going by his excuse, right? That it was a mistake and shit moves on, and now it involves his family, it involves his children, it involves he has a baby, right? Like I understand that. Like I said, I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news and the one to fucking talk shit. I'll tell you point blank right now. Will me and Marvelous ever kick it and go out and fucking kick it with chicks? Fuck no, right? But at the same time, I don't believe him to be out there being a predator and all that. And I expressed to him, hey, bro, I'm going to do a video tomorrow because you're right. I should have never did that. Is it an apology? Not necessarily an apology, but saying, you know what? I should have never brought that up because in the beginning, I didn't want to talk about it. In the end, I shouldn't talk about it. So that's a fact. Another thing was that Marvelous told me was that he did shut that shit down with Norbies as far as Norbies wolfing and talking and throwing people's names out there. But I must have missed that. So again, I said, all right, my bad, bro. Good looking out for that. And again, my whole video was not really directed at Marvelous. I'll tell you guys the truth. No added preservatives. Knowledge you can't get in college. The only reason I put Marvelous on the cover of it is because nobody knows who the fuck Norbies is. That's the facts. That's really the truth. That's the YouTube thing of it. It's like this. If I put Joe Rogan on a fucking video, it's going to do some numbers. You know what I'm saying? If I put fucking, I don't even want to say people's names because they get all upset and shit and their pussy gets all fucking moist. But if I put somebody that nobody knows like Norbies, right? No one's going to tap in. The whole thing was to get the content out there so people could hear it. Did I say some things about fucking Marvelous? Did I go a little too hard? Probably. But at the end of the day, that's just how that is. Okay? I'm not intentionally disrespecting that man, but I got to respect the fact that he did get a hold of me and he did voice his opinion. Now, he didn't get crazy with me. It was rather a respectful conversation. He didn't try to check me or punk me or call me out. There was none of that. It was just like, hey, in the past, we were cool. I know that you didn't involve yourself in a lot of this shit. You try to stay neutral in this shit. And I did. Not necessarily neutral. That's not a great word, right? Because I'm not condoning. Look, if you sleep with the fucking young kid, I cannot fuck with you. And you should be man enough to accept that. I'm not speaking directly to Marvelous, but you know what I'm saying, though, right? It would be the same thing the other way around. You know, believe me, I know it would, right? I would never be in that situation because fuck that. I need IDs, birth certificates, a credit check. Sasuke, I need all that. I need to know prior relationships you've been involved in so I can call your baby daddies and see what it, if it, first of all, I need to see if it was good, and I need to see if it's seasoned and well oiled, right? That I just need to know. Nowadays you have to do that as a man because it's just bad. Was Marvelous caught up in a rather unsavory situation? Yes, he was. Regardless if you believe that he knew the age or not, that's his business. I'm not going to expand upon it. I'm just saying that fool called me, man, and I told him I would make this video and say, hey, for thank you. And I don't give a fuck what people think, but thank you for shutting that shit down with Norbies because he's a real piece of shit. Shout out John Bravo, right? And then thank you for at least reaching out, man, like a man does, and expressing your opinion and your feelings. Again, I shouldn't have brought up his situation. I know he's trying to get away from that and focus more on what he's focusing on his channel. But the fact is that it's always going to be out there, homie. There's always going to be people that got something to say. Me, myself, if I didn't say nothing in the first place, I shouldn't say nothing in the last place. That's just how I feel about it. So that's where I stand. Now, for those of you haters that are going to be like, oh, man, you fucking talk to Marvelous. Stop it. So does a lot of other people down there, man. It's been a long time. He shouldn't have left you without a beat down to step two. No one's doing nothing. He's out there chilling, running his thing, doing his thing, right? So miss me with that noise, man. I'm hundreds of miles away. And like I said, it wasn't like me and Marvelous ever kicked it or anything. I understand the situation. I understand the politics into it, and I understand his situation. He wouldn't kick it with me. I wouldn't kick it with him. But we're men enough to put things to the side to have a conversation to address shit like men do. Again, I'm not going behind his back telling you guys what was said. I told him I was going to make this video and put it out there. And that's just fact. So now go ahead. Feel how you feel. Yes, I did have a conversation with Marvelous. A lot of other people did as well. Hold them accountable. But the fact is, man, he picked up that phone like a real man and reached out. Gotta respect it, right? Can't respect the fucking whole situation because no matter what, it's bad. Whether it was a mistake or not, it's bad, right? But it doesn't mean he intended it to be bad. But it is just bad. You know, I've seen a lot of homeboys, man, get caught up on some bamboozling shit. And I'm just like, damn, bro, what can I do? What can you do? You're like, fuck, bro, you done fucked up now. There ain't no get backs from this. I gotta go this way. I don't want to be caught up with your shit. That's kind of this situation, right? And I'm sure Marvelous got the same type of fucking hatred he did about me and my status and not being an active gang member. I'm sure people reached out and got at him. That's a fact. You know, because he expressed that to me, man. People used to be, but I don't give a fuck. He used to say, I don't give a fuck because it's not like we're kicking it, man. We just had an interview and that was that. Anyways, take it for what you will. Marvelous did reach out. As far as Norbies goes, stop lying, Norbies. Stop being a captain fucking save a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking being out there trying to save the world. Stop trying to put a cape on and all of a sudden, it's a bird, it's a plane. Isn't that fat fucker that got beat up by American Cholo? Yeah, that's him. That's Super Raza. Hey, tune in to Super Raza today. His name is Norbies, right? Nah, Norbies. You ain't doing none of that, bro. You're utilizing the brown people and the situation to try to come up. Loser. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I got another fucking individual that's doing the same thing, man. I'm going to be doing a video later on today. Make sure you guys tap in, man. It's unfortunate that all these guys all of a sudden, you know, saying care. Where was that caring at when you were out there gangbanging? We'll get to it.